Hey, what's going on, guys? iStudios here for another video. Today I'm teaching you guys how to create an alien planet in Cinema 4D and Octane. So, yeah, let's get started. First thing you're going to want to do is grab a sphere here. I'm going to add this in. And we're going to be using this as our kind of base object for the planet. So we probably want this to be quite detailed, as we want a detailed surface. So I'm going to set it up to about 512 segments, like so. Next, I'm going to copy it and paste it. And I'm going to call this one surface. The pasted one, we'll call this one atmosphere. Now the atmosphere, we're going to decrease these segments probably down to like 64. And the radius, we'll set it to like 108. Just a little bit, we'll set it to like 106. Okay, just a little bit larger than the surface. So we'll disable the atmosphere for now using this check mark, and we'll get back to that later. Okay, for the surface now. To make it a kind of detailed surface and not just super flat, we're going to use a displacer here, and we're going to put it underneath the surface here. Just drag it onto that. In the shading, we're going to go to shader, and then noise. Okay, you can see here it's already displacing it pretty nicely. Okay, in the noise type, we're going to grab ourselves a wavy turbulence, and we're going to set our octave to 10. And we can tweak this a little bit later, but for now we're going to go back to our displacer. And we'll set the height to like maybe 5 centimeters. You can see if we go to our display shading here, it's a little sharp in some places. Maybe we can set it to just intensity. Like that, it'll be less sharp. Maybe we can go back to our, let's see here, height, we'll set that to 10. Increase that a little bit. Really, if you want more detail here, all you got to do is go to your planet thing here, your surface, and increase the amount of segments, and you will naturally have more detail with less jitter. I think right now, though, the best way to get rid of the jitter will be to decrease the height just a little bit, like so, so it's a little bit more, I don't know, like that. It's fine. We're not really going to be looking at this surface up close too much. If you'd like to, you can go to your noise and scale up the size. We'll set that global scale to like 300-ish. Maybe like that. Maybe that's too much or too little, but actually we can go back to our displacer and maybe increase the height, go back up to 10. Yeah, I think that's reasonable, just like that. Okay, now the next thing we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and make the material for this. So we're going to create shader, C4D Octane material. We're going to apply it to our surface. And before we do anything in the material tab here, we're going to go to our render settings. So you go to Octane settings. We're going to set your kernel to path tracing, the GI clamp to 1, filter size to 1. We're going to bring up our parallel samples all the way. Just drag that up all the way. In your devices settings here, make sure that all your GPUs are enabled and your priority is set to high. Just for the sake of this video, I'm going to disable my primary GPU because I'm recording on that one, but normally when you're rendering or working, just enable everything, and that is fine. Okay, we have that there. Now, we'll start working on the material. So we can hit a render here, and that'll start that up. You know what, I think we'll use maybe like a texture environment here as well, and we'll just make that completely black real quickly so we can see what we're doing. Okay, so we can open up our material here. Diffuse, that's fine. Okay, we don't need diffuse, roughness, bump, normal, displacement. Actually, we're going to use diffuse a little bit. What we really want, though, is just emission and diffuse. So diffuse, what we're going to do here, we're going to go to your displacer here, shading, noise. Just grab this noise right here. Actually, we'll go back to the displacer. You see this little arrow here? You just click that. Okay, you go up to the top here, copy shader. Go into your diffuse, click this little arrow here, the texture, paste shader, and there you go. Now the height map matches. Okay. Let's have a little look here at the render. So if you really want to see this in action, we're going to add in a light. We'll add in a Octane targeted area light. So here, hang on. We're going to click on the atmosphere. Then we'll grab a Octane targeted area light here, and just so we can kind of see a little bit better here, just like that. Now we're going to go ahead and I'll show you if we open up our material here. We set, for example, white to like red or something. Oh, sorry. We'll make that one white. We'll make the other one red. There we go. And I'm just going to increase the contrast here. Now you can see on the lower parts, it is white. On the upper parts, it is red. Now you'll notice something, that there's actually more detail in the editor almost than there is in the render. You can see here, it gets very kind of pixelated. And the reason for this is that Octane is not taking Cinema 4D's textures in their full resolutions. So we can fix that by going to Octane, Octane settings, going to your other here, and right in here, C4D shaders, sorry, there we go. Render size, you can just set this up to 1024. We restart the render. Now, you can see it's much higher quality. So we're going to be basically using, you can see here the height map. We're going to be basically using this as a way to control emission, because I want it kind of glowing from the surface. So I want the lower parts to be glowing, and I want the upper parts to be not glowing. So we'll open up this thing here. This was just a little test. I will go ahead. Actually, you know, we'll make it blue. We'll make our planet blue, okay? So we'll just make that blue there. Actually, we need to flip this around. Sorry. So we need to go... This one's going to be white. Then this one's going to be blue. That's what we're going to do. Okay, so we'll make it so the lower ones, because the bottom one is the lower. Okay, there we go. Now we can see the lowlands on our planet is blue. And then the more highlands are white. Okay. So we can go back here and we can just grab a copy of this. So copy shader, go to emission, black body emission. Okay. Texture, you can just paste shader. There we go. Now, we're going to have to go here and we're going to need to make the white completely black, because we just want glow from there. And we can, I think, disable our light. Whoops. Disable our light here. We'll just disable it like that. And you can see here, it's glowing. Yeah, it's cool. But it's not really glowing. It's just kind of bright. So we're going to go to our Octane here. And just get a sense of it. We're going to enable our bloom here. Just kind of get a sense of the amount that it's glowing here. And the nice thing is, we think that, oh, maybe this is, we should have it tiled more. Okay, or tiled more. So we decrease the global scale. We'll set it to maybe 80. And you need to make sure that you set it in all the noises. So 80 in that one. Go to your displacer. Set the scale to 80. And then go to your diffuse. And set the scale to 80. Now you can see here, it looks pretty good. Honestly, I think it looks pretty good, but we're going to change here in the emission. We can make it pretty good, because I think there's a bit too much emission. It's a bit too bright. So first of all, we can decrease the emission strength. Actually, we'll leave the emission strength like that. But for the tiling here, we're going to go ahead and just decrease the contrast and increase the low clip. Because I think we can have a little bit less glow. Maybe the glow is a bit too intense. Just like that. And you can see we already have a kind of nice blue molten surface here we're looking at. I'm just going to save this as, we'll just save it as a tutorial. There we go. It's always good to save. Always save your projects. You do not want to be caught without a saved project if Cinema 4D crashes because it runs out of memory or something. Very bad. Been there, done that. Don't do it. Okay, we're going to go to our objects here. We're going to grab an Octane fog volume. Now we're getting started on the atmosphere. So I'm going to drag this up and just scale it up so that it kind of goes, it's a bit bigger than the sphere. 230, I know works for this one. Just scale it up for, you know, kind of how, so it fits your planet like that. We can set our voxel size down to like 1.5-ish. You know, depends on your amount of RAM you have available and stuff, but like that is usually all right. We can enable our atmosphere now, the sphere for that. And we'll drag that under the volume. Actually, yeah, we'll drag that under the volume. Now what that'll do, do not mean to drag the light there. What that'll do is putting the atmosphere under the volume, what that's going to do is that's going to make the volume the same kind of size as the atmosphere. So I'll show you what that is. We're going to go to the volume here. Obviously, we need to increase our density quite considerably here. And maybe, in fact, scale up our atmosphere. So I'm going to increase that in size a little bit more. That is too much. Okay. We'll set it to like 115. Okay. There we go. Now we're going to need to decrease the density probably quite a bit here. So you can see, I'll enable the light now. And you can see here we've got a pretty nice, actually the atmosphere is getting cut off. So I'm just going to take out the atmosphere object there, the atmosphere kind of guide, the sphere. Move up Whoops. That is a little bit laggy. Gonna move that up and scale up the volume size. We'll set it to like, we'll set these both to 250. We'll set all of it to 250 maybe. You know, it's gonna depend on your scene, kind of what fits. Okay, we'll drag back our atmosphere. If Cinema 4D cannot lag, maybe. Thank you, Cinema 4D. Okay. That is just going to load. You will have to restart the render here. Now we should see that the atmosphere, yeah, the atmosphere kind of fits perfectly around. Now, we're actually almost done here, but there is one more thing we're going to have to do. The atmosphere doesn't really look great. So I'm going to go ahead and just check the scale here, because I think 115 is a bit too much, maybe 110. I think that'll be good enough. But we should probably do two things. So first of all, decrease the brightness of this light. We're going to tint it a bit of a blue. Okay, and now for the actual volume here. We're going to do a few things. So the first thing, we're going to set our edge feather 100%. Okay, maybe 100% is a bit too much. Or all the way. Okay, that's all the way fine. The volume step length, we're going to decrease that a little bit. Starting to look all right here. You can see the mountains, the top of the mountains here are actually the white is showing. Maybe we want to change that, but yeah, that's fine for now. Okay, so that's starting to show. The color, the absorption, we're going to change it to be a little bit blue because obviously the planet is blue. We'll make the atmosphere a bit blue to fit a kind of maybe more atmospheric color of Earth, maybe a little more. Okay, change that, kind of darken the tint of blue a little bit. We'll go back here using these arrows. These are very useful, by the way, for just going forwards or back. Very useful. Okay, we're going to go to our scattering now. And we're going to maybe, we can use like some maybe red scattering. Now, you know what? We'll just stick to blue. We'll just stick to blue. I don't want a very powerful color here. Not too bad. Not too much. You know what? That looks pretty good. Okay, what we'll do, we'll actually increase our emission strength a little bit. And then go to our Octane settings here. We can increase our glare amount a bit. Now you'll see when we increase the glare here, it looks pretty bad. So we're going to need to change here the ray amount, bring that down to 1. The glare angle, maybe make that kind of more attractive rotation, like something like that. I don't know, like that. And glare blur is going to help a lot with kind of giving it that much nicer effect. So yeah, you guys can see here we've got a bit of an alien planet. I'm going to save that. Always save that. Actually, one last thing I will make a change to is the diffuse here. I'll make the secondary color a bit of a darker gray. Not too much, just like that, so it's not the tops of the peaks here aren't super prominent. So yeah, that's that. If you guys want to change the seed, or if you guys want to make it more random, all you have to do is change the seed in. So let's say we want the seed 1, 2, 3. Okay, just copy that. Okay, put it in your diffuse. Right. Put it in your put it in your emission. Okay. It will lag a bit. Put it in your displacer here. See here, seed. You should need to change the seed in those 3 spots. And there you go. It's a completely procedural planet as well. Exactly. So you can basically make it be any color that you want. So yeah, you can mess with atmospheric thickness and stuff like that to make it look good. But yeah, it's kind of a basic procedural alien planet with some nice kind of glowing effects. So yeah, if you guys enjoyed this video, leave a like and subscribe to my channel to support me. As always, if you have any questions or tutorial requests, just leave them in the comment section below and I will try and get back to you as soon as possible. Yeah, have a good day, everyone. Bye.